Hello, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Gear Up. Here's what's in store for you today. The lockout is over, another NCAA powerhouse has sexual abuse allegations, Ndamukong Suh fulfills his reputation as a dirty player, and I give you my top 5 upsets of all time. I'm Michael Peters, and you're watching Gear Up. First, some NBA news. Finally, what we've all been waiting for has happened. The NBA owners and players reached a tentative agreement early on Saturday that would have the season's first games on Christmas Day. This isn't completely final yet, but then NBA Commissioner David Stern said that he's optimistic that the season will begin on December 25th. Unless there's a change in the scheduling, the games on Christmas Day will be Celtics at Knicks, Miami at Dallas in an NBA Finals rematch, and Chicago at Los Angeles. With this deal, training camps would open and free agency would both begin on December 9th. Now some college basketball news. In a tape-recorded telephone conversation, the wife of Syracuse associate head coach Bernie Fine admitted she had concerns that her husband had sexually molested a teen ball boy in their home, but said she felt powerless to stop the alleged abuse. Bobby Davis has publicly accused Bernie Fine of molestation that started when he was in the 7th grade. Bernie Fine's wife also said that she saw Bernie sexually assaulting Davis through her basement window. Now for some scores. UNLV Sharks won UNC 90-80 in the Las Vegas Invitational to improve to 7-0. For Connecticut barely escapes 20 Florida State 78-76 in overtime. 6 Duke wins its 5th Maui Invitational Championship in as many chances as they defeat 14 Kansas 68-61, and 5 Syracuse defeat Stanford 69-63 to win the NIT season tip-off tournament. It looks like there will be many very close games this week as the Big Ten ACC Challenge begins Tuesday night and will include 12 games over Tuesday and Wednesday. Some games include 6 Duke at 3 Ohio State, 11 Wisconsin at 1 North Carolina, and 15 Michigan at Virginia. Now for some NFL news. Ndamukong Suh apologizes for stomping on Evan Dietrich Smith's right arm in the Lions game against the Packers on Thanksgiving Day. Suh was ejected from the game in the 3rd quarter and defended himself immediately after the game, saying he was trying to keep his balance while freeing himself from the brief scuffle. My reaction on Thursday was unacceptable, the star defensive tackle said in a statement on his Facebook page Friday night. I made a mistake and have learned from it. I hope to direct the focus back to the task at hand, by winning. Suh likely won't know his punishment, or even if he has one, for a few more days. An NFL spokesman said that plays from Week 12 looked at for potential discipline won't be reviewed until all games are completed. Kyle Orton is now part of the Kansas City Chiefs after being placed on waivers by his former team, the Denver Broncos. This is perfect for the Chiefs because they lost their quarterback, Matt Castle, to a season-ending injury shortly before Orton was placed on waivers. My game of the week this week is Houston at Jacksonville. Houston is getting 6 points, but they are 7-3 and have won 4 in a row. One of these wins was against Jacksonville, where they won 24-14. Jacksonville is 3-7, and their last win was against a winless Colts team. Also, wide receiver Andre Johnson and safety Danielle Manning will be returning for the Texans, so I think they will cover. Now for some NCAA football. Michigan State will face Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game, with the winner ensuring themselves a spot in the BCS bowl game. 14 Michigan State defeated Northwestern 31-17 yesterday to clinch the Big Ten's Legends Division, while 16 Wisconsin crushed 19 Penn State 45-7 as Monte Ball picked up his 34th touchdown of the season. He is 5 away from Barry Sanders' record of 39 touchdowns for Oklahoma State in 1988. Andrew Luck of Stanford passes John Elway's school record of 77 touchdown passes by throwing 4 TDs in 6 Stanford's win over 22 Notre Dame last night 28-14. UCLA will face Oregon in the first ever Pac-12 title game despite getting crushed by USC 50-0. USC will not be able to play in the title game because of sanctions. 10 Oregon crushed Oregon State in the Civil War 49-21. 5 Virginia Tech blanks Virginia 38-0 to cruise into the ACC title game, where they will be facing 17 Clemson. However, Clemson got crushed by 12 South Carolina yesterday 34-13 in an in-state battle. Some other important scores were 1 LSU crushes 3 Arkansas 41-17, and 13 Georgia defeats 23 Georgia Tech 31-17. Now for this week's edition of Mike Speaks Out. Now that the NBA has finally reached an agreement that it would have games beginning on Christmas Day, it brings up a question. Should athletes have off to spend the holidays with their families? I don't think that athletes should have off for the holidays. Call me Scrooge, I don't care. I love celebrating the holidays, but when you make millions of dollars a year, you don't get to pick and choose which days you want to work and which days you want to take off. So what if you can't see your family and give them presents on holidays? I'm sure they won't mind if you give them a nicer, more expensive present during the off-season a few months away. As an athlete, you should play in every possible game you can because you never know which game or play will be your last. Most NBA players don't play in the league for more than 15 or 20 years, and this time can be cut even shorter with injuries and younger, more athletic players being drafted to take their place. Play in all of the Christmas Day games that you can because you never know if you will get to be in another. Once you retire, then you can spend the holidays with your family. Now for some This Day in History. In 1960, Gordie Howe becomes the first NHL player to score 1,000 points, and in 1966, in the highest-scoring NFL game, the Washington Redskins defeat the New York Giants 72-41. Now for my top 5. My top 5 this week is the top 5 upsets of all time. At 5, we have Northern Iowa defeats top-ranked Kansas in the 2010 NCAA tournament. Cinderellas had knocked off top-seeded teams before, but never like this. I had never heard of Northern Iowa before that season, and they defeated Kansas, the favorite to win the tournament, 69-67. At 4, we have the 1969 Miracle Mets, who had 100-1 odds of winning the World Series when the season started. They started the season 18-23. However, they ended up winning 100 games and even the World Series that season. At 3, we have 2007 Appalachian State at 5, Michigan. Appalachian State was from Division I AA, and absolutely nobody expected the game to even be close. It looked like Michigan was about to win with 6 seconds left and a field goal attempt that would give them the lead, but it was blocked, and Appalachian State became the first AA team to beat a nationally ranked opponent. At 2, we have the New York Giants defeat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl in 2007. The Patriots were looking to become only the second team with a perfect season. The other was the 1972 Miami Dolphins, but the Giants upset them in the most important NFL game of the year. The Giants also lost to the Patriots during the last few weeks of the regular season that year. And at 1, we have USA defeats USSR ice hockey team in the 1980 Olympics. Unlike most other upsets, the whole country celebrated the win of democracy over communism on ice, as opposed to one city celebrating their sports team's accomplishment. Thank you for watching today's episode, and have a wonderful day.